win, or was it sort of a story and perseverance considering everything Ryan Blaney went through early in the race for him to even have a chance to pull off the victory at the end?
Yeah, I think certainly, when the checkered flag fell, I think that the two best cars of the day finished 1-2. And Christopher Bell was, dominant throughout the race, led the most laps. Blaney at the end said he felt like the 20 had the best car, but certainly Ryan had quite a good one as well, to be able to come back a couple of times from deeper in the field with different issues that they ran into throughout the race. So I think it came down to the last two different strategies on the final pit stop, and ultimately, Ryan was able to hold it off, take the win, kind of break that 3 race winning streak of Toyota and Tyler Reddick, 23-11. And I think Ryan has shown he's got something with this Phoenix layout and this track and this car over the last couple of years.
Josh, I had a chance this past May, took a family vacation out to Phoenix, got to ride around the outside of the track. Obviously didn't go in because they weren't racing in May, but I thought it was a really cool layout out there. It's a gorgeous area, right, sort of settled in to some of the mountains in Arizona. I think that's a cool place, and they did something I'm not sure many racetracks have done before. They went back-to-back with IndyCar followed by NASCAR, and Team Penske won both races. Is that something you could see, maybe NASCAR and Indy car racing starting to team up at other tracks across the circuit?
Well, I think it has to be the right track, and certainly Phoenix is one of those that fits the mold that both IndyCar and NASCAR can run. So I think it was cool to see. I think certainly Fox has an impact on that, given that they're the broadcast partner for the first half of the NASCAR season. They've got the IndyCar, so that makes a lot of sense. Creates a lot of synergies. So I think it's really cool. You got Saturday. You got a doubleheader with the IndyCar Series, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, 2 great races. I know from the group out there in Phoenix Raceway, it really helped boost their ticket sales on Saturday, had a great crowd, and then turned around and you had the Cup race on Sunday. So for a motorsports fan, I think it's awesome, and I think there's opportunities at certain tracks, where this could happen in the future. We had the Truck Series the week before out in St. Pete with the IndyCar Series. So 2 weeks in a row, we've had a little bit of IndyCar, NASCAR flavor mixing up the weekend.
Chatting with Josh Harris, president of Darlington Raceway, recapping the weekend of Phoenix. They'll be in Las Vegas this week. And then, of course, where we love them to come, that's at Darlington here in the PD in a couple of weeks. Would Darlington fall into that category? I mean, is the track is it too difficult the way the setup is with the banking and the like? Would Indy cars be able to run at Darlington?
I think you have to go way back in the history books for Darlington to find IndyCar running. It has happened in the 50s. It did happen with some IndyCar races run there, but today with the cars the way they're built, with the abrasive surface, I don't know. I mean, it'd be an interesting thing to maybe have a private test and see how those cars would run, what kind of speeds they would hit. But I would imagine, aside from the Indy 500, it's 2.5 mile track on a more of a flat banked surface instead of the steeper banking that we get at some of our tracks. I would imagine you're mostly going to be at ovals that would be a mile or less, or some road courses would be the opportune chances for more double headers. But it would be cool to see them run around, even if it were just like a test.
I think so, too. Josh Harris with us here tonight. And, Josh, we touched on Ryan Blaney's win. Christopher Bell may have had the best car. He finishes second, then Kyle Larson sitting third. I'm seeing a lot of positive vibes, though, coming out on NASCAR media sites and the like all this week about the job Ty Gibbs did this past weekend in Phoenix. Has he finally figured it out, and is he starting to position himself? He's top 20 now in points. I mean, is he a guy we need to start paying a little bit more attention to?
Well, I think he's like a lot of, he's obviously not a rookie anymore, but, guys early in their Cup career, it's an adjustment going from either the Truck Series or the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series up to the Cup cars, especially today with how different they are. It's taken Ty maybe a little longer than people expected, but he's run fast this year. He's had some good finishes to go along with that. Sometimes it's, you get good, you have speed, but you can't quite put the race together and get the finishes you maybe think you deserve. So he's putting it all together right now early in the season. We're going to a couple more tracks where, it's really going to show how much improvement that he's made as a driver, that team has made. But Toyota has had some speed early on. He's taken advantage of that. And I think, maybe, a track like Phoenix and coming up at Darlington with 750 horsepower, higher horsepower, a little less downforce, a little less grip in the tires, maybe that fits his driving style. He might be somebody to watch at Darlington here in a couple of weeks.
Speaking of which, in a couple of weeks, the track Too Tough to Tame will come back to life. Beforehand, the appetizer is Las Vegas. Do you like following the races out in Las Vegas?
I think it sets up really good for us. Not only it'll be a 1.5 mile track, so, not completely similar, but, bigger track. We'll see how the cars, who's looking strong there. And what I really, like from my perspective is we had the Daytona 500 early in the year. Then we went to Atlanta, and then we started going out towards the west a little bit. Now we come back to the East Coast for the first time. Fans in a couple of weeks get their opportunity to see Cup racing, truck racing, O'Reilly Auto Parts racing up close, personal, live, and we're the first chance to do that. So I like following Las Vegas coming off this little stretch, and looking forward to a great triple header weekend.
So before we tell people where they can go get their tickets and not to wait any longer, we've been encouraging you to do this since before Christmas. What's going on at the track here the next 10 days or so to prepare for the race weekend a week from this coming Friday?
Yeah, just full preparation mode. A lot of tents are being built around. A lot of painting going on. With this warmer weather, the grass is starting to green up. So getting out, cutting the grass, making the property look good. So a lot of final checking off our checklist, getting our things done that will make this place look great. Come, we open up the campgrounds a week from today. So it's right here, right around the corner. Everyone's excited about it. We're looking forward to a great weekend. We've had a couple of cool announcements integrating the NASCAR alumni into the weekend as we've done the last few years. We've got Mark Martin as our honorary pace car driver. And then yesterday we were proud to announce that Harry Gant and Kurt Busch, this year's Hall of Fame class, will be co-grand marshals of the race of the Goodyear 400 on Sunday.
That's outstanding stuff. I know fans are going to enjoy seeing, especially Harry Gant at Darlington Raceway for sure. Before we let you go, darlingtonraceway.com, what's the best place? Is that the best place to go get tickets?
That's right. All the information right there, full week-long schedule. Like I said, kicks off with campgrounds opening on Tuesday. Got a big day of activities on Thursday, including track laps for charity, and then we get into the full weekend on track, off track. All the details at darlingtonraceway.com, or give us a call at 866-459-RACE. So
you out watching soccer, softball, baseball? Who's winning?
Yeah, I'm over at the Florence Christian soccer match tonight. My oldest son is a freshman on the varsity team, so I'm out here watching him. It's tied 1-1 right now.
Did he score?
He did not score. He's playing on defense, a little midfield.
Okay.
So he's helping keep the score tight.
Well, Papa Josh, we appreciate you taking some time away from your son's soccer match to join us tonight. Excuse me. Go enjoy the rest of the game, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. That's Josh Harris, president of Darlington Raceway, and a really cool dad on top of that. DarlingtonRaceway.com. Folks, get the tickets. Goodyear 400 a week from Sunday. Hard to believe it is upon us. Race weekend over at Darlington after Las Vegas this coming weekend. Sign out for a quick timeout. Baseball update. Georgia Southern 6-1 over Clemson, bottom of the third. Gamecocks trail Citadel 2-1, bottom of the second in Charleston.
Start your journey with a new auto loan. Get on the road with an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. From city streets to off-road trails, your journey begins here. Our competitive rates can get you on the road in a ride that fits your lifestyle and budget. With no payments for up to 90 days, you can apply for a pre-approved spending limit, valid for 30 days before you start shopping. Visit one of our many convenient office locations or go to foundersfcu.com/auto to apply for an auto loan today. Membership qualification required. See webpage for details.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Just like in college basketball today, sometimes it's about who you bring in off the bench to provide that extra spark. At StraightUpSports.net, we're excited to announce the addition of Brett Friedlander, a longtime ACC insider columnist, to our all-star lineup that includes Bob Gillespie, Scott Kiefer, Mark Sturgis, and more. At StraightUpSports.net, it's always about the stories. Check out this all-star lineup at StraightUpSports.net or at Straight Up Sports on Facebook.
In 2012, inside Clemson football's weight room, a different kind of barbell was developed. The Tsunami Bar is a flexible, oscillating bar designed to enhance high-intensity training while helping reduce joint stress. Unlike traditional rigid bars, it moves. That movement forces your stabilizer muscles to activate, your core to engage, and your body to produce force more efficiently. The result is improved strength, better balance, and more functional performance. Tsunami Bar Sports continues to provide innovative, dynamic training solutions that empower individuals of all fitness levels to reach their peak potential. Whether you're training for general fitness, building resilience, or improving rotational strength for sports like golf, the Tsunami Bar challenges your body in ways traditional equipment cannot. Learn more at TsunamiBarSports.com.
Let me tell you right now, baby, you're the only one. I don't want to be a restless soul, running on empty, burning up the road, never knowing what I'm trying to find, while the wheels keep turning in the back of my mind. I don't want to take a long way.
Okay, back at Bridgestone, South Carolina is on the court. Lamont Paris is that Lamont Paris down there carrying on with some folks, having a good time on the sideline, or am I misidentifying him? We just finished up with Lamont Paris, and I'm way up here in the hockey press box. It was hard to – he was wearing a garnet-colored what do they call that thing?
Quarter zip.
Quarter zip, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing somebody carrying on. It's like he's talking to the TV crew down there, perhaps, and very and gesturing quite a bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we just finished up with him, so let's bring this to you right now. This will be the first audio anywhere of Lamont Paris talking with the media about being back next year after the statement released tonight by the athletics director, Jeremiah Donati. Speculation, of course, on all the hot seats among the national media when they put their hot seats together starting in March. He was definitely one of those on them. However, I think if you're paying close attention to South Carolina basketball, and most of those folks aren't, they would have known that he still has a number of years left on his contract that would have played a role in the thinking here. He still has 4 more years left on his contract. His contract runs through March 31 of 2030. So this next season, he'll be paid $4.25, goes up to $4.5, then up to $4.75, and then finishes with a cool $5 million. And the buyout would have been about $12 million for those remaining 4 years. So
he can thank Ohio State for that.
Well, I don't know if we'll get to that here. It's about an 18-minute piece, but he did say that he had chances to go other places after that big season, but he wants to be at South Carolina. He loves it. He wants to build something special here. Here we go. Here is what he said just a little while ago to myself, and it had Jack from Gamecock Central, John from the Big Spur, and Jackson from the state newspaper. It was the four of us surrounding him just off the court, and he was asked about his conversations, how long they've been going on with Donati to get to this point.
You know, my conversations with Jeremiah really have been focused on the landscape of college athletics and how rapidly it's changed, particularly in the last 2 years. If you think about how quickly some of these drastic changes are making, and then how we can continue to keep up and forge ahead within this landscape in a way that equips us better to provide the resources that we need to attract teams that can compete in the SEC. And so our conversations have been really solely focused on how and how to get there and what kinds of things we can do and how he can help us get there. So they've been really good conversations, and I'm excited about the path forward that way.
What does it mean to you to know that Jeremiah is willing to just make a bigger investment? Because, obviously you need the NIL capital to make things happen and get players, right?
Yeah, it's a different, it's just things have changed. Things have changed. And what may have been important 3 years ago is not as important today, and some things that are extremely important today maybe didn't even exist 3 or 4 years ago. And so I think being nimble in a way to make changes and to make adjustments and adapt, I think that's extremely encouraging. And it just is, again, I hate to belabor the point, but it's just a different game in terms of recruiting, and so that's what a lot of this will center around. But we look at the program holistically, obviously, for the last 2 years now. Last season was the best season in the history of the SEC and potentially the history of all college athletics, but we're not trying to shirk any responsibility either, just in what it has looked like for the last 2 years for us. And so holistically we're looking at everything, but certainly our ability to attract as a collective group a team that can play in a fashion to win games at a high level in the SEC is what the focus is on.
In what ways do you think you can get more bang for your buck this time around when you go through free agency trying to find players that can come in here and win in a big way?
Yeah, it's an interesting way to call it free agency because, essentially it's kind of what it is. But, there are a lot of components to it. Talent evaluation certainly is part of it. There are a lot of things we've seen all types of things. There's no guarantee that, committing a specific amount of resources is going to yield a specific result. But oftentimes there is a certainty that when resources are limited, that struggles certainly will be there. And so, the evaluation of players, that's what we've been doing. I've done that my whole career. I've been in places that had a lot of challenges. When I was in Wisconsin, who wanted to come in 20 below weather? And so trying to find kids that could be successful there or in certain areas, or when I first got here. So evaluation's a huge part of it, and fit is always a big part of it. And so we look forward to continuing to fine-tune that process as well in determining, who really wants to be a Gamecock and who fits the DNA of what we are looking for in a player, and then the competitive spirit to play and to thrive at this level is probably the biggest factor of all of it.
Kentucky reportedly had a $20 million plus roster, been reported like that, but here they are playing on Wednesday just like you guys are. I mean, how much money does it take, you think, to build a winning roster if $20 million can't get it done in a given season?
Well, again, I think all of this isn't about just NIL. I think there are a lot of components to putting a team together. How do pieces fit together? What does a player play? The fashion and style of ball that you would like roles are important. There are a lot of things as we put our team together that we value. If you look at 2 years ago, I think those things came together incredibly well. You had role definition happened upon its own. I think the synergy that group had, and the want to play with one another, the want to win. So those things still are probably the main factors in determining what winning looks like. Again, I don't know at the top what that looks like, but there are limitations. If you don't have what it takes to get into the game, there certainly are limitations, but you still have to make sound decisions in terms of the DNA of what you want your team to look like, the overall roster construction, and how pieces fit together. I still think that is an incredibly important part of roster construction.
Yeah, you just mentioned some of the components. Where do you feel like y'all fell short this year, and how do you address that next year?
Yeah, I think one thing is just again the overall competitive spirit on a nightly basis to play in this league gets challenged, and I think that was a struggle for us at times. At times it was not, but having any consistency with that was part of it, particularly with our just some of our bigger guys had some struggles that way. We didn't shoot the ball the way that I thought we would shoot the ball this year, and so that was part of it as well. But just being able to identify some guys early, and to be able to get the entire group, because I think that, again, that's a big part, is how these pieces fit together with one another. And so as you find this piece, there's another guy that needs to have a certain skill set. And so just being able to attack those things in this off season.
You talk about, the shooting, the competitiveness, and just in little different ways. The team this year didn't maybe come out how you thought they would when you were first evaluating them and recruiting them. What has that taught you maybe about what you can do differently this offseason in that process?
I think in the evaluation process, and it becomes more challenging just because the window is so much smaller than what it used to be. I mean, I think back to my days as an assistant, and you recruited guys for 2 years, so you knew everything about them. You knew how they would respond for the most part in any given situation, and you don't always know that with this process of recruiting. It's such a short process, so there's some level of that, but you work really hard. You're making phone calls to try to connect with people that are connected to the prospect and trying to identify those characteristics. But there are still some challenges in that. There's also a certain level of player that it kind of goes hand in hand, that you don't perform at that level without having some of these things already baked into what your game looks like. So, attracting some of those players. I don't think you have 15 roster spots in men's basketball now. I don't think you can have 15 guys that want that to be their role and 15 guys that fit that bill. But I also don't think you can't have one also. I think you have to have some guys that's kind of baked into what they do. So, I think some of those guys will be apparent as they put their names into the portal and as that recruiting process develops.
And there's more from Lamont Paris. It'll all be up on our website after the show, so check it out there. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Thank you, Bergie. We'll have Matt Smith in Charlotte with Clemson covering the ACC. I'll be here. We'll have a full night of it for you tomorrow night. Have a great one. See you tomorrow.